So in case you missed my video on my favorite Dragon Ball movie villains, Janemba is my all-time favorite Dragon Ball movie exclusive villain. And now in 2018, with the Dragon Ball Z Fusion Reborn film coming back to theaters, Janemba will be back on the big screen. So I thought it'd be a good idea to go back and revisit Janemba, but not quite in the way you would think. I don't want to talk about Janemba from Fusion Reborn. I want to talk about Janemba and what Dragon Ball Heroes did with him, because if you think that Janemba was a scary dude in the movie with reality warping powers and also the pure embodiment of evil, just imagine an even more chaotic and an even more dangerous version of Janemba, and Dragon Ball Heroes gives us that. Let's talk about that next. What's going on, everyone? If you like the videos I'm putting out on this channel, remember to hit that like button. And remember to subscribe and hit that notification bell. That way you get all my content right to your device every time I upload. And I thank you for your continued support. So in Dragon Ball Heroes the game, Janemba received a number of upgrades to his power, both in actual mutations as well as absorptions. And the main one, or at least the first one that we saw in the Dragon Ball Heroes universe, was Destruction King Janemba, and he made his first appearance in Dragon Ball Heroes Jakku Mission 5. Now, I'm going to keep things as simple as possible. Destruction King Janemba is, to simplify things, Majin Janemba. In Dragon Ball Heroes, the term Destruction King was used to describe characters that would become Majins that weren't actually Majins. This was done to avoid confusion. You see, in the video game, you have the Majin race, which is essentially Majin Buu's race, the pink kind of bubblegum, rabid characters. But they couldn't call the Majins that were possessed by demonic energy, like Babidi spells, like Vegeta and Dabura were in the anime. They didn't want to call them Majins, so they called them Destruction Kings. This was done, like I said, to avoid confusion between the two, so I want to simplify it. So basically, Destruction King Janemba is Janemba's version of what happened to Majin Vegeta. The only difference is that it didn't really make Janemba any more evil than he already was, but it did give him a power boost. If you remember, when Vegeta was possessed by Babidi in the actual Dragon Ball manga and anime, he did become stronger, and as a result of that, Janemba also got a power-up. When it came to what they did with Xenoverse 2, however, rather than making him a Majin, they just gave him that sort of purple, Dark Makai upgrade. They're two different things, but they're very similar. Destruction King Janemba has lightning around him. That's the only real difference. Other than that, it's a similar concept. It's just a different kind of look for the character. And they did this a lot in Dragon Ball Heroes back in the day. Like, they've even got like Majin Bojack and Majin Turles, and they've got all these characters there. This was, of course, before they came up with the Dark Dragon Balls, upgrade, which I already discussed in a previous video. And in similar vein to that upgrade, as well as the Time Breaker mask, as it's commonly referred, this was just Dragon Ball Heroes finding a somewhat cheap way to take old characters and make them relevant by giving them power-ups. That's really the reason why they did this. But in Janemba's case, he was already really powerful from the get-go. But that's not the end of Janemba's upgrades. Later on, there was a Dark Dragon Janemba, Dark Dragon Ball Janemba, but I've already covered that in the video I did about the Dark Dragon Balls, so there's really no need to cover that again. I explained that thoroughly in that video, but I want to talk about some of the more unique mutations of the Destruction King Janemba form. And what I'm talking about specifically is Destruction King Baby Janemba. This actually started in Dragon Ball Heroes Galaxy Mission 4, and it introduces the concept of Baby, the parasitic Sufurian, or Tuffle in the dub, and the first major villain of Dragon Ball GT, possessing Janemba's body in the same way that he did Vegeta in Dragon Ball GT. In fact, the look is very similar with the yellow shoulder and armor and all that, but this version of Janemba is even more powerful, and his upgraded version is Destruction King Baby Vegeta. After absorbing a tremendous amount of dark energy, he gets this crazy, scary power-up, and of course, Babidi is there on the actual card to prove that it's just the Majin thing, just a lot more powerful. Now, one thing I want to briefly discuss, and I don't want to talk about it too much, is the Dragon Ball Heroes Victory Mission manga. Now, I don't want to go too in-depth into this because they may require a separate video, but Dragon Ball Heroes Victory Mission is not the same manga as the other Heroes manga that we've talked about before. The Dragon Ball Heroes Victory Mission manga is a totally separate spin-off that follows the life of Beat as an actual person who ends up coming into the Dragon Ball world. So think about it as sort of like a hybrid between the reincarnation of Yamcha story from Dragon Garo Lee and the regular Dragon Ball Heroes manga. That is going to be the topic of another video. I don't want to talk about it too much because it's going to confuse people, but Destruction King Janemba did appear there, and it's kind of cool because they fight him, and then once he's defeated, Baby leaves the host body of Janemba and possesses Vegeta, and then here we go again with another battle with Baby Vegeta. But I wanted to point that out because if I didn't put it in the video, I think somebody would comment saying I forgot to talk about it if they know about it, so just wanted to bring that up. Now, if you're into power scaling, one thing that you should note about this is how many guys it took to actually beat Baby Janemba. In the manga of Victory Heroes, we have a combination of Gohan, Goten, Trunks, and Gogeta from GT battling Baby Janemba, or Janemba Baby. So that's a lot of really powerful people all ganging up on this very difficult threat. So if you want to scale how strong he is, it's kind of hard to do with Heroes, but if it takes that many guys to take him on, that should tell you something, right? Now, a cool little tidbit is that Dragon Ball Super manga artist Toyotaro actually drew a what-if form of what if Janemba wore a Timebreaker mask, and he called it Masked King of Destruction Baby Janemba. And I cannot even imagine how powerful this character would be if he existed. It's mind-boggling. The only other upgrade I want to discuss, and I want to do it very briefly, is Janembu from Dragon Ball Fusions. The fusion of Kid Buu and Janemba, I always thought was a cool idea. It's not really Heroes, but I do suspect that at some point we'll get a Janembu card in Heroes because everything goes to Heroes at some point. So with that being said, I will bring this video to a close. Thank you so much for watching. Leave a comment and let me know if you like this idea of these upgrades, if you like Baby Janemba, and if you want me to do more videos like this about Heroes. I really enjoy covering them, and it's a lot of fun. But I want to know what you think. Leave that comment. Thank you guys so very much, and I'll talk to you soon.